Brian Powell from I Run Far here with Montana Mike's, Mike Wolfe, Mike Foote. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Very well, thank you.
You guys are not new to the North Face Ultra Trail Mont-Blanc. What brings you back?
Definitely not new. Fourth time over here. What brings me back? I'm not really sure what brought me back this year. I just was signed up early on and had plane tickets and excited to race.
You probably had the harder decision in terms of wanting to come back. You just did the John Muir Trail, 200 and some odd miles a month ago. Or less than a month ago.
Yeah, less than a month. 25 days, 27 days. Yeah. Yeah, it was a hard decision. I actually was waffling up until last week, really. Just a little lingering injury, some tendonitis in my shin, and then overall, whether or not I'm really recovered or not, but I figured, what the hell. Might as well come over.
See what's thrown against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, see what's inside, if I have anything left.
What do you think will be harder, finding the physical ability or the mental energy? Because obviously the JMT has to be fatiguing in both regards.
Yeah, very fatiguing physically, mentally. I don't know, right now I feel like I have the mental energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm questioning the physical energy, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear and see how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw caution to the wind.
New footy, yeah. What do you think of that attitude?
Yeah. It's inspiring. I love it. I'm back here because this will be my third go at running the full course. Mm-hmm. And fingers crossed the weather is looking favorable. And
you'll get your first run of the full course?
Yeah, it's inspiring terrain. Every time I come to Chamonix and the Alps, it's incredible. You get here and the mountains are bigger and there's trails everywhere, and it's really hard not to go run as much as you can a few days before the race. And I'm excited to be here after the last 2 years of rain and course changes. I'd say my inspiration was to come back and run the full course against a good field as always.
Yeah. Were you both able to control yourselves and not spend too much time in the beautiful mountains this past week?
Absolutely. I've been lame though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done hardly anything.
So you finished second here, correct?
Yeah.
You got a third. Mm-hmm. Do you get drawn back by the lure of trying to win, or do you just try to have your best day here? I mean, what is on the competitive side? What is or performance, I should say? What drives you?
I always feel like this is one of those races where and of course it's so competitive and you're pulled along by the field and you can achieve your best potential by having very strong runners pulling you along right next to you, but this is you versus the course. If you're not smart and you don't stick to your strategy, it can just spit you out the back end if you're not careful. And for me, I think achieving my best potential is running my own race and letting the course come to me and seeing what I have on that day. Absolutely.
Last year, that really did play out with you. I mean, you were never hugely far back, but you definitely made a huge move late in only 100K.
Yeah.
So you hope to do that again?
I do, yeah. I'd be pretty comfortable not being anywhere near the front at Courmayeur.
Even at Courmayeur, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah. We'll just see how it shakes out, but my strategy and my best races tend to be, moving through the latter half of a race, and yeah, so I'll try and stick to that.
Yeah.
We'll always see what happens.
Wolf?
I came back over because I feel like every year I've come here, I still haven't had the original course experience where I feel like I've really run the race I'm capable of, and I'm not really sure that I'm going to be able to run the race I'm capable of this year, but I wanted to come and I planned on coming, so I'm excited. I want to have the true original UTMB course experience and run well, but this year, I just feel like I want to have a good time out there, and I'm typically I feel like I've maybe gone out too hard in this race to start, or this year anyway, my plan is to take it way more easy and just see how I feel the first half, for sure. I'm not going to be going out of the gates hard.
It's interesting now. I've interviewed you guys and as well as Anton and Timothy and talked to you and Gary as well. Everybody kind of is talking about going out slowly, maybe being in 50th or even further back at Les Houches. How can you do that
Yeah.
When you have
I mean,
100 euros, some of whom, like, you're going to know some of them, and like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, they're going to go off the front.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys, you no clue who they are.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always easier said than done. Everybody says that, but once you get in the energy of this race, especially if you've never done it before, it's really hard to hold yourself back. I feel like.
It's harder to hold yourself
just
back than
'cause
it is to go
the
big.
energy is just so strong, especially through Saint Gervais and Lake Contamine. I'll be interested to see whether some of those other Americans or North Americans really do hold themselves back as much as they say they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know,
It's super hard.
really hard.
Not just getting those towns. But it's not even in the towns. You're going up to, I forget the name. Is it what's the first big climb? Before Saint Gervais.
Sure.
Yep.
And but there's going to be hundreds of people on this random climb before the big towns.
Yep. Exactly.
And like you get that energy. They're all screaming and cowbelling and people don't think, like the runners who haven't been here don't think of that. I mean, is that a major piece of advice you have for Americans coming over for the first time?
Oh, I don't know if I have any advice. Everybody handles it differently. I do feel like it's important to soak up that energy along the course, because that's what's so unique about UTMB, and that's what a lot of people who have done it love, and that's why they come back, is the history of the course, the history of the trail, and the amount of people you see along the trail, and the different cultures that you pass through, and all of that. With that said, hopefully you can soak up that energy more in the second half and not let it get to you too much in the first half.
Yeah. And it is really an interesting cultural experience, both of the runners, but on the course. Like, you're going through France, and people are hiking the trail, walking the trail, whatever, and you're saying bonjour, and then you're in Italy, and you're like, all right, I got to switch languages, and then you're back in Switzerland, and it's just such for me, a cool foreign experience. Is it the same with you guys? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even coming over here, we've both been here year after year. It doesn't really change, at least for me. Like, it's always exciting, and I whenever I've talked to Americans back home about it, I'm always like, it's a bucket list race. Like every runner should come over and do this race just for the experience at some point in their lives, because it is so unique and special, for sure. Yeah. I think,
the international feel of not only going through 3 countries, but you're always running next to somebody from another country, and not a few countries, but dozens and dozens of countries, and that's a pretty unique, again, feeling of any race I've ever been to.
It's not noon yet. I think I've interviewed people from 4 different countries.
Exactly.
That's just, it's amazing. You're gonna run next to Greeks and Spaniards and Japanese and Frenchmen and
Oh yeah.
And there's, no matter, you might not speak either's language, but you can have a meaningful exchange, I think. Trail is an international language.
Yeah, the camaraderie is great.
Yeah.
Have you guys had that during your races? I remember watching 2011, or hearing about 2011 with Killian and Iker and Seb and Miguel all running together for the vast majority of the race. Have you guys spent, any stretches where you were running with other folks here at UTMB?
I historically always end up somewhere in between everybody. I run by myself most of these races.
No man's land?
Yeah, and if I end up towards the front, it's because I caught up finally and I passed somebody, but I never feel like I'm with people for long, which is actually something I'd like to experience this time. I'd be pretty excited, especially through the night, to have a group of similar paced runners to work with through the night, so that I'm not kind of just out in no man's land. That'd be something I'd like to experience this year, sharing a good chunk of time together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've had little fits and spurts of that the years I've been over here, like stretches where I've run with people. The year 2010, Jez and I ran together and pulled each other along a lot of that race. I mean, we were catching people, but we had a very cool experience. We were running together and pushing each other. In other years I've had little stretches, but never like the Killian, Iker, Miguel, where they like literally ran the whole race together.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that.
I even remember as a spectator watching that you and Jez having all that time together.
Yeah, it was cool.
And were you together when you passed Julien?
Yes, yeah. And then Jez pulled away like that last climb up the Col de Ferret. No, sorry.
Tête de Vente?
Yeah, after Valorcine.
Okay.
Flagère.
There's a lot of climbs on this course, guys. in training for this race, there are some runnable stretches. Obviously, in the beginning, you go out really. There's this downhill fast stretch going to Notre Dame de la Gorge. There's another flat section. Like, how do you guys? Do you just focus on the mountain training, or do you have to get flat?
I personally don't run flat much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm doing an easy recovery run, I'll hit some just flatter trails. But I mean, I'm inspired by the steeper trails, and I'm inspired by big climbs and big descents.
Mm-hmm.
And not only am I inspired by doing that, just if I'm left to my own devices, it seems to play well for into UTMB. Longer, slower days seem to have been kind of my focus. You know, things where I am hiking more, whereas some other races I might not be in hiking mode as much. But UTMB, it's okay to be out a few extra hours that day and do them a little bit slower and still find that steep terrain with just really with lots of vertical gain and loss. That seems to be my general focus in the summer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to when I'm focused on the UTMB training. It's just lots of vert and not worrying as much about runnable terrain. I guess I feel like by that point in the season, usually I have my running legs underneath me enough to be able to run what needs to be run in this course. Yeah.
Well, not long after you guys get back to the States from UTMB, you have the Rut 50K. You guys are putting that on together in Big Sky Country, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a first ultra marathon that we're involved with putting on. I work for the Runner's Edge in Missoula running store, and I race direct for them. And it's a 50K and 12K on Big Sky and Moonlight Basin Resorts. We've worked really hard to find a course that has some really, really challenging terrain, including going up to the summit of Lone Peak at 11,000 feet and lots of off-trail ridgeline running and, slowly hiking through some talus fields, some just challenging Montana terrain that we're excited about. And everything's been running smooth this year. We are completely full
both
in
races?
both the events, which has been, met our expectations, and people seem to be pretty excited. Lots of Montana runners who are excited to take on that section of Montana. It's just a beautiful area.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was Mike's idea originally, but we both had been talking about for a couple years leading up to it, just wanting to put on a cool Montana race to kind of showcase some of the terrain that we have in Montana and that we like to run. And it's very technical mountain terrain. So we wanted to offer a race in that kind of terrain and then kind of give it the Montana flair. So hence the name and some of the stuff that we'll have going on at the race.
We may or may not have an elk bugle to start the event.
Yeah.
You may or may not have a Big Dipper ice cream truck.
Yeah. Yes.
We may or may not have a Big Dipper ice cream truck as well.
Something that everyone should mark their calendars for in next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Good luck with UTMB and the Rut.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it.
Quick bonus question for you guys. We're over at in Chamonix, and at least were you both over in Courmayeur at some point? Have you?
Yeah, I was over there a couple days ago.
Best gelato flavor you've had on this trip?
I've held out so far, believe it or not.
Oh my god.
I'd be going for the Nutella, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or the coconut.
Damn, that's what I was gonna say, the Nutella. Coconut's good too. What was the one you were talking about though? The flavor.
The dark chocolate over in
dark chocolate.
Courmayeur.
See, I haven't tried that yet.
Within the berries as well.
Yeah. I usually like raspberry. Raspberry's really good with Nutella.
Raspberry and Nutella.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
that's making me hungry. I'm gonna go get some
right now.
Gelato for lunch.
Gelato.
Can't beat it.
Espresso.